Yes, peace, my brothers and sisters around the world. Welcome to another edition of the Chrissy B Show, the Chrissy B Emotep Show. It's a pleasure to be here again to speak to you all. It's a brief video, one of two videos I'm going to upload and post to YouTube and all across social media. For those of you who follow me, you're in for a treat. And before I go on, I'd like to ask you to please to subscribe to the channel, click the subscribe button, share it, leave your comments down below, and like all of the videos. You can go through the archives because we've been doing this for a few years now. So I think we're about 60, 69, 68, something like that videos, and we've got loads more in store. So subscribe, click the subscribe button as you see at the end of the video, and as you know, you should do anyway. So how are you, brothers and sisters? It's been a tough last 8 days with the goings on in America. We've seen a lot of rioting take place in Minnesota, Atlanta, other parts of America. Here in London, there's been protests as well in Trafalgar Square and in central London. And I think there was even some quiet protests in Bournemouth, down in Bournemouth as well, there in the south of England. And so people around the world are not happy with what they've seen. And another thing I want to say is that when we say Black Lives Matter, we know all lives matter. But when we say Black Lives Matter, we mean that predominantly black people's lives, because as we know, as we can see, black people's lives are like an endangered species. You know, like how hunters will go and hunt foxes, hunt tigers and lions for their fur and so on. That's what black people are like, almost, you know. They will leave you for dead. And so when we say Black Lives Matter, what we mean when we say Black Lives Matter, we mean that it's something that we're trying to push to public attention, that look, the seriousness of this situation here with black people and the police and black people, racist thugs, like with the Ahmaud Arbery situation, when he was just jogging in his area and he got set about by those racists, a father and a son. And so because they suspected that he was a burglar, all that nonsense. And so we've got to bring this to public light when we say that Black Lives Matter. And I looked around a lot of social media the last 4 or 5 days, especially some of the celebrities profiles, not just black celebrities but celebrities in general, and a lot of the non-black celebrities are supporting this Black Lives Matter cause. So I've got to say big up to them for the ones of you people like, just a few names: Michael J. Fox, Rob Lowe, people like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is actually part native Indian, so he kind of like is in that box where, you know, his people were brutalized and were wiped out by the Europeans when they came there and were killed, because really America is a native America's land, you see. And so it's not the white man's land, it's not even the black man's land, it's the native American land. And I know that Keanu Reeves is part Native American, I believe. And so you know, and so there you have it, you see. Anyway, what I want to talk about is the riots, because the riots, we saw I shouldn't be laughing, but I posted some stuff up on Instagram about the riots, and what I got from the riots is that people are so angry that they don't know. You see, this is what happens when you, for years, culminating of a number of years where you get so many deaths, you get so many deaths in police custody of people of colour. And so I wouldn't even say, yeah, George Floyd was the final straw, was the final nail in the coffin. I feel like was a straw brought the camel's back. But it's culminated over the last 35, 40 years with so many deaths in custody of black people, to the point where now people are just so flipping tired and fed up of it all. And so what they're doing, they're protesting. And I would say they're protesting not just for George Floyd, but for the years of, you know, inhumanity, and the years of wickedness, the years of, you know, racial brutality towards blacks in police custody, and even just on the streets, and even racist thugs like we just mentioned with Ahmaud Arbery and so on, and Breonna Taylor, who got shot in her house for no reason at all. And so people are just tired. Black people are very, very tired, but also other people are tired as well. And I think you can't say that every white person is a racist, because I don't truly believe so. But you've got to also watch it, because what's happening is that other people are hijacking the riots. We wanted to protest peacefully. It started off as a peaceful protest of black people protesting, you know, marching, and then it turned on its head with with volatility. Cars being buildings being torched and set alight, cars being set alight. I heard there was a shooting as well a couple of days ago. I believe a police officer got shot as well, and some people got shot also. So it's becoming the police for the people. And as I said to you before, I said that for me, the people have got to keep their heads, because this change, so-called change, if it comes, and I do believe change will come, but it won't be by the politicians. It'll be by the people. Be like people like you and me. We're the ones who are going to bring about change. The system isn't failed, because the system, if you look at it, the system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's a white supremacist system. It's supposed to cater for white people's needs. It's supposed to put white people first, even though we don't like it as black people. And some of the other ethnic minorities don't like it because they're at a disadvantage because of it. But I do believe that the system was really created for white people, and a lot of us believe that as well, was really created for white people, for white people's benefits. And so it is doing exactly what it was set up to do, to cater for them. But at the same time, us, where we thought that it was there to cater for all peoples, but obviously it's not there to cater for all peoples. So what we have to do, I was saying on social media, we have to tear it down. You keep it intact, but we have to set our own system now. I think we have to break away from their system, if it's at all possible, and set up our own system. So we have to get with conscious, like-minded brothers and sisters, sit down around the table and think about how this thing is going to go, we're going to plan it. Because if you, as I said, as many wise persons have said in the past, if you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You see. Yeah, if you plan to fail, you fail to, or if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you're gonna fail if you don't plan. You see, and that's where that's where we're at. And so, the protests have to be made, because you're gonna raise, world awareness of what's going on. I was reading something the other day by a celebrity. I can't remember the name of it. They were saying that if you sit down and you don't talk up and speak out, then it will just continue, and that's so logical. Like with anything in life, if you don't like it, you're gonna fight for it. You're gonna appeal. If you get sent a bill, you get sent a bill, and the bill is too high, you've got an option to appeal against it, or to and so on. And so this is it here with this situation with George Floyd, with all the other people who passed away and killed in police custody, not forgetting Eric Garner, Michael Brown, and there's so many. It's like a catalogue, say their names, you see. And so if you don't talk up and speak up, it will just keep going on. It will go on forever. And so the next generation that comes up, they're gonna have the same problems. And so us here right now, this is a very critical moment, because we have to do something right now. And that thing for me is to find ways of breaking away, setting up our own establishment. How are you going to bring about change? What is change? You're never going to change races, because there'll always be racist. I was something very sensible. I'm trying to think. I saw the other day in a post where it says that nobody was born a racist. I think it was Madonna. Nobody was born a racist. But people get taught to be racist, and that is so true, because it starts from the home. It really starts from the home. And white people, a lot of them are racist. The ones who are racist teach their children to be racist, or they do what they see, because children are impressionable. They look at not what you say, but what you do, your actions. So they take it from that. And so a lot of white people will grow up around racist parents and a racist family and a racist household, have that when they grow up, and they take after what they see. They're a product of their environment, so they take after what's around them as they're coming up. And so it's so right. And so how I think you have to also educate people, because black people are the first people on the planet. I've said it many times. I've given speeches about it. I've been on the radio. I've spoken about it many times on the radio. I've written about it. I've spoken about it. And I'm not the only one. There's been many people who came before me who spoke about it. People like Joseph Ben Buchanan, Dr. Henry Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, so many of the master teachers, Marcus Garvey, they've all spoken about this, that we were the first original people. And there's living documents there, proof documents there in Kemet and all over Africa, that black people were the first people on the planet. And so you've got to really, and then they came into Africa took us as slaves and brought us to the West against our will, and then they enslaved us for 400 years. And even after the shackles, the chains were released, the shackles were released, it was still mental. It was still in mental bondage and in mental slavery. And then they promised us. I think that it was in America. They promised them 4 I don't know how many. A lot of acres of land and a mule. I think 4,000 acres of land and a mule. They were going to cater for the black community, but they didn't. They didn't do so. They failed to live up to their promise, and so the blacks, what they did, they're very, very clever in those days. They're always very, very clever. But those days, they had to be extra clever because they were backed against the wall after slavery, and then they went in and they built what was called Black Wall Street, you know, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they had the business, they had everything there. They had medical. They had their own hospitals, they had dentists, they had medical practices, they had shops, they had butchers, they had their own schools. It was amazing. Black Wall Street. It's known as Black Wall Street. And they were there, they were thriving for a while. And then what happened was, after a rumour that I think a young black man had wrestled a white woman or a white girl, what happened was there was a rumour, and then they went in and the racist whites went into the Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, and destroyed everything, burnt the whole place down, torched the whole thing down, looted, and killed many, many people. And so there you have it, you see. And that would have been a wonderful start for us if that was continued. If those races never gone in there and ruined that, we Black America could have been really I would have said they would have been thriving. Not could have, they would have been thriving, you see. And so there you have it. As I said to you, we have to sit down and think about what this change is going to be. And I believe that it can only be from us, from the people, because the politicians ain't going to do it. It doesn't matter who you vote in. I know there's a voting situation now going on in America. They want Trump out in November. You see if that happens or not. It's to forget that there's the 250 million white people in America, something like that, and only 50 million blacks. Yeah, no, 250 whites and I think 50 million blacks, and all the rest of other ethnic groups. And so you're going against the majorities are going against the minority, or the minorities are going against the majority. And I don't think this incident is going to make racist. There's always be racist, because even since I've heard of something going on in social media where somebody was mocking the death of George Floyd. They were on social media mocking it. So that's the seriousness of it all, and I don't think you're going to totally eradicate racism. When we say change, you know, everything that we've tried, everything we've marched, we've protested, we've written, we've sung. I think that the only solution is to be practical, and it's to set up your own system. You know, your own system, break away from their system, set up your own. You're gonna need so many blacks. You're gonna need people on the right side, and dare I say, you might have to include a few other ethnic minorities in, and maybe a few whites who are liberal, the whites who are not racist, to come in and help us. But I think what we have to do, because I even think white people are fed up of their system. Yeah, even though it's set up for them to thrive in it. Yeah, it's their system. You know, it's a white supremacist system. They're benefiting from it. They've been benefiting from it from the last 400 or 500 years. You see, even before slavery, they were benefiting from it, and ever since slavery, it became even more stronger because they used a lot of the black slaves to help with their system. And when slavery was abolished, even black people were working still in their economy. Then when black people tried to break away, like I mentioned earlier, with the Black Wall Street, then they didn't like it, and they came and they dismantled it and destroyed it. And I think still there's a lot of white people who don't want to be a part of the system, even though, as I said, it's scared for them, as everybody could see. So something practical, we've got to do something different. And I believe, in my opinion, the best way to overcome this is to set up our own system. Leave their system, set up our own system, like the Jews have done. The Jews have more or less got their own economy. Whereas the Jews, up from here where we're here, about, I'll say 2 miles from here, it's Stamford Hill, and there's Orthodox Jews. These are European Jews, really, but they've got their own hospitals, their own dentists. I mean, I go there quite a lot. I've not been there for a couple of months because of quarantine, but normally that's why I do my shopping around that area, because I like their shop. I like the shops in that area, and it's the area that I like. My grandfather was in that area for a long time, for 45 years. He had a house in that area, and so I'm used to that area. And the Jews have always been alright with me. Because I'm I'm a Rasta, and they respect Rastas because they know that we speak up for what is right and what is wrong. And so I've always got on with them, to be honest with you. and they seem to like Bob Marley. And so, but anyway, but they, if you look at what they do, everything is so structured in their community, you know, and they got their own schools as well. And so there you have it, you see. And that's what we have to do, something similar to what the Jews have done. The Jews should be a benchmark for what to do, to break away from their system, break away from their economy, and do our own thing and have our own. It can be done. It won't be stopped. But we need people power. We need great minds to sit down and to plan the thing thoroughly and concisely and properly. And we need some real people to really make the initiative go, not just talk, but to actually bring it into a practical situation where everybody in the black community is virtually living by it, and it's still up to benefit us and to please us, and nobody else can come into, because with the Jews nobody can come into their economy, into their system. It's structured for them only, you know. I mean, you could buy from them, but you can't be involved in their community. It's like a barrier. It's like you're out, everybody else is outside and they're inside. And that's how it has to be for black people. We should be like this, because we were the ones who are up against it the most. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I'm going to do another video soon. And so I'm going to finish this one and do another video about some other things I want to talk about. So you take care of yourselves. And we'll say it was Blackout Tuesday yesterday, so I'll say peace and love to all of those who took part in the Blackout Tuesday for Black Lives Matter. That was yesterday, and as I said, I looked at a lot of celebrities' profiles, and a lot of the non-white celebrities were involved in this. So I said big out and a big shout out to all of you who took part in this. So I'll say peace and love, one love, guidance, peace and love. Chrissy B loves you. Honor.